Can I tell you something? For over a decade, I spoke personally with every single person before they enrolled in my 200-hour yoga teacher training. Hundreds of conversations. And almost every one of them came down to the same question. Will I fit in? Sometimes they said it directly. More often it came out sideways. I'm not very flexible. I'm older than most yoga teachers. I don't have a yoga body. I've never done a headstand. I'm coming from a completely different career. But underneath all of that, the question was the same. Will I fit in here? Today, I want to answer that question as honestly as I can. I'm going to tell you everything about my 200-hour yoga teacher training, what it is, who it's for, what it costs, and what you actually get. Everything I'm about to tell you is also on the sales page, which is linked in the show notes if you'd rather read it or want to see it again later. But I think some things are better said out loud. And if you're listening and you have already done your 200, maybe you're well into your teaching career, please stick around anyway. Maybe you're thinking about doing your 300 someday. Maybe you're thinking even further ahead, earning your 300, teaching 1,000 hours after that so you can be ERYT 500, and eventually offering your own Yoga Alliance affiliated training. If that's where you're headed, how you think about structuring a 200-hour program matters, and it's never too soon to start thinking about that. And even if you're not going that far, hearing how I built this might change how you think about your own teaching. I'm Sage Rountree, and this is Yoga Teacher Confidential. Let me start with that question, will I fit in? Because the answer tells you more about this training than anything else I could say. Over the years, I have trained professional poker players and salsa dancers to be yoga teachers, nurses, doctors, pastors, priests, professors and college students, retirees and career changers, someone who'd had a double knee replacement, someone who thought they were too overweight for yoga. Every single one of them asked some version of will I fit in? And every single one of them did. Because the training isn't built around a particular kind of body or a particular kind of background. It's built around a belief that your life experience is your greatest teaching asset, not something you need to overcome. So here's my honest answer. You will fit in if you want to teach yoga, not just deepen your own practice. If you're willing to create your own teaching opportunities rather than waiting for someone to hand you a job. If you trust that preparation matters more than performance, and if you are ready to do the work. Now, you won't fit into my Comfort Zone Yoga 200-hour yoga teacher training if you're looking for a power vinyasa or a hot yoga certification. That's not what we do here. You won't fit in if you want the cheapest credential you can find. This is a premium program and it's priced accordingly. And you won't fit in if you think teaching yoga should come effortlessly. Teaching yoga is a craft, and I treat it like one. I also want to be honest about something most trainings won't say. Teaching yoga is a very good side hustle. It is not a reliable full-time income, not without serious business acumen, financial stability, and some luck. I'd rather tell you that now than let you find out later. So what are you signing up for? The promise is simple. Become the kind of yoga teacher who can walk into any room and teach whoever is there. Not just certified, ready. Ready to walk into a gym, a studio, a community center, a church basement, a corporate office, and teach a balanced, confident class for whoever's sitting on the mats. The way we get there is through frameworks. If you listened to last week's episode, you heard me talk about 642, 6 moves of the spine, 4 lines of the legs, 2 core actions, a checklist for balanced movement, and the S.E.R.V.E method, structure, experience, repeat, vary, evolve. These are the sequencing and teaching systems I created, the ones that programs around the world now build their curricula around. In this training, you learn them from the source. The program is fully online. Yoga Alliance registered, American Yoga Council accredited. When you register, the full curriculum is yours immediately. You'll have 2+ months, depending on when you enroll, of self-paced study before your live cohort begins. That's intentional. I want you to have the chance to absorb the material at your own pace, so you come into the live sessions ready to practice, not cramming. You get video lectures, a private podcast feed so you can learn on your commute or your dog walk. I know you like podcasts. and full transcripts of every lecture. They're searchable and they're translatable into any language. 8 modules covering philosophy, anatomy, sequencing, cueing, classroom management, business foundations, and practice teaching. A workbook, a robust workbook with the signature exercises from the Professional Yoga Teacher's Handbook, and a custom GPT assistant trained on the curriculum frameworks available around the clock for your sequencing and teaching questions. Of course, I'm also there in Comfort Zone Yoga answering your questions asynchronously as you work through the curriculum in your own timeline. Then when the live cohort starts, your commitment is about 2.5 hours a week on live calls over the course of 12 weeks. We'll practice yoga together, we'll have lots of discussions, and this is the part that matters most. You will actually teach. You'll practice teaching with your teaching buddies, you'll get feedback, and you'll refine your teaching before you ever stand in front of a paying class. The full program spans roughly 6 months until you're certified. And then you will get another 6 months of connection and support from me in the Prep Station, my yoga class planning membership. Here's where I would normally list credentials, but I would rather tell you why they matter than just rattle them off. I've published 13 books to date. 4 of them are the required texts for this training. Other yoga teacher trainings assign my books as their required reading. Here, you'll learn the frameworks directly from the person who created them. That's a different experience than reading someone else's interpretation. I have been training yoga teachers since 2011 through my programs at Carolina Yoga Company. They are still rated 4.89 out of 5 across almost 150 reviews on the Yoga Alliance site. I spent 15 years on faculty at the Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health. I've been the yoga instructor for the UNC football and men's basketball teams since 2008. Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame coach Roy Williams was my private yoga student for over a decade. And I hold a PhD in English literature. That might sound like an odd credential for a yoga teacher training, but it means I know how to teach clearly, I know how to write accessibly, and I know how to break complex ideas into frameworks you can actually use, which, if you think about it, is what the whole training is built on. But the credential that matters most to me is the decade plus of sitting across from people like you who were nervous about starting yoga teacher training and watching them become teachers who walk into a room and own it. That's the part I can't put on a resume. Let's talk about what happens after you have your certificate in hand, or technically on your hard drive, because it will be a PDF. And this is the part many trainings skip. After graduation, you will get 6 months of Prep Station membership. That is live monthly calls with me, access to the follow-along movement library with over 180 sequences, lesson planning tools, and 3 continuing education units per month. The day you finish, you will not be deposited, kicked out on your own. You'll also get ongoing membership in The Zone, my free community of 2,200 plus yoga teachers. There I offer monthly calls, peer support, resources for as long as you want it. And there's a path forward. When you're ready, when you've got some teaching experience under your belt, you can continue into my 300-hour training, where we go deep into yin, restorative, yoga nidra, balance, core, theming, and more. I designed it that way on purpose. I want to keep teaching you for years, not just hand you a certificate and wave goodbye. Let's talk money. Full price is $3,500 US. Early bird is $2,997 before June 1st. There's a payment plan, 4 payments of $875 that totals $3,500. Let me put that in context. Most in-person 200-hour YTTs cost $3,000 to $5,000 in tuition alone before travel, lodging, meals, time away from work and family. A destination training can run $5,000 to $9,000 all in. None of those include textbooks written by your instructor, a curriculum designed by someone with 25 years of experience, or 6 months of post-graduation mentorship in the same platform where you did your training. At the other end, the cheapest online yoga teacher trainings start at $11. Seriously, I've seen one for $11. You get pre-recorded videos, no live interaction, no practice teaching, no feedback, and a credential that teaches you about yoga maybe without teaching you how to teach it. This training sits at the premium end of online programs, and I'm okay with that. A single weekly yoga class, might pay you $40 to $75 per session in most markets. Teaching 2 classes a week, you would earn back your investment in well under a year, while building a teaching career on frameworks designed to serve you for decades. One more thing, a decision I made, no refunds, deferral only. This is a big commitment, and I treat it that way. That's why I'm being this transparent, so you know exactly what you're getting into before you get into it. If you're listening to this and thinking, this sounds right, but I'm not ready to commit, I built a path for that. Start with my free mini course, Find Your Teaching Voice. It lives inside Comfort Zone Yoga. It gives you a real experience of how I teach, so you can determine whether the online format works for you. It's a bite-sized version. You'll get videos, the private podcast, and transcripts, as well as a robust workbook. Then read my book, The Professional Yoga Teacher's Handbook. It lays out everything I believe about what a yoga teacher's role is. If that book resonates with you, we're philosophically aligned. We're simpatica. If it doesn't, I have saved you $3,500. And then come to a live open house. I'm hosting 2, April 18th and May 16th, both Saturdays at noon Eastern Time. Same content, 2 chances to attend. You'll experience what learning together actually feels like, and you can ask me anything. By the time you've done all 3, the mini course, read the book, and attended a live workshop, you'll know. One more thing. If you're listening to this after the fact and the current cohort has already started, please don't worry. I intend to offer this training every year and possibly twice a year if the demand is there. Head to the sales page. The link is in the show notes, and join the wait list for the next round. You'll be the first to know when registration opens. I want to come back to where we started. Will I fit in? The answer is almost certainly yes. If you are asking that question, it means you care enough to wonder. And caring is the prerequisite. Everything else we can teach. Your students don't need another cookie-cutter copy of some idealized yoga teacher. They need the original you. This training is designed to help you find that original and then give you every tool you need to share it. If that's what you're looking for, I would love to have you. Sign up for a free live open house at comfortzoneyoga.com or hit the link in the show notes. April 18th and May 16th, noon Eastern. Come see if this is your world. Thank you for joining me. This is Yoga Teacher Confidential. I'm Sage Rountree, and I'll see you next time.